The Mofex Star Wars Mandalorian. Oh, yeah it is. This is the way, right here, right here, right here. Okay, people, welcome back to another Fwoosh Weekly. As always, I'm Robo, and let's try something a little new this week. Instead of the age-old, oh, there's a lot of toys to talk about this week, let's do something like Comment of the Weekly, where I go back to the last weekly, pull out a comment that needs answering, or something needs expanded upon, something like that. This week's entry comes from Drew Lovelyhell, who writes, Tiger, King wears a Jaguar mask. Robo Don't Know. That is very true. The more people who pointed it out, and there were quite a few, the more I realized, how the hell did I miss that? I think I was going more for the joke, which I tend to do whenever I don't know about a property. I've got to build it up and just randomly, oh yeah, lions, tigers, and bears. Woo-hoo. But now that I'm saying it out loud, I also realize, am I saying Jaguar wrong? Jaguar? Jaguar? I wish I could say Lolo's comment was true, because that's also one of the amusing byproducts of my don't know ramblings, but that usually happens completely by accident. I would never ever poke at the people who take their fandoms way too seriously, now would I? On that note, let's take a little gander at the Bandai Warhammer 40k Ultramarines Primaris Captain in Gravis armor. Too many words just smashed together randomly. Basically, this is Bandai's first Ultramarine that's already seen release, just fancied up. At first I thought it was mostly reuse, but you start comparing them side by side and looking at all the little details. Most of the parts and pieces, even the basic armor, has been changed in some way. Even some of the things that look the same, like the chest emblem, has been just modified a bit, I guess because of the rank or something. They put that horseshoe around the skull on the chest. I know what it is. I'm just, ooh, poke, 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 poke. I live for those comments of heretic. Oh, but we ain't done. There's also a crackling energy sword of some kind. They mounted a machine gun on the left arm. The chains coming around with the lantern probably allows him to see in the dark or something like that as he's walking through looking for something to heresy! This was revealed last weekend, and they said pre-orders would be next week. But as far as I've seen, it hasn't been this week, so I'm guessing next week. Maybe they thought, maybe it was over the weekend and say next week, it'll be the week. Ooh, sometime soon this should go up for pre-order. This week, Good Smile Company solicited their Figma Bloodbourne, the Old Hunter's Lady Maria of the Astral Clock Tower. It's getting crazy. It's getting crazy. I really don't know this, but it looks nifty. I think I remember something about their first Bloodbourne figure. And that's it. That's all I got. But I like it because of the design. Not only because it's a goth Victorian costume, it's also the washed out colors and the soft features. There's an aesthetic to it that's just pleasing, I think. There's a standard edition that includes hands, a pistol, and 2 blades that either work together or separately. But if that's not enough, there's also a DX edition with all of that, plus 2 blood top weapons, a chair, and an alternate pair of sitting legs. Well, I say legs, it's from the mid-torso down, waist piece, legs come out and cross, but then you have to swap the boots over from the figure onto here, along with the upper body. But you can't argue with the results here. She looks fantastic sitting down. The only negative I could see would be doing that much popping, maybe loosening up joints here and there. There's also not a big price difference between the standard and the DX. The standard is about $94. The DX is about $109. So if you're going after this, that price point is already high enough. You might as well spend the extra 15 bucks and get all the extra stuff. Oh look, more Robo Don't Know. Y'all are simply surprised by that at this point. I know it's very unweekly to put Hasbro this early in the episode, but when it comes to Power Rangers, it seemed fitting to put it up here with all this other stuff I didn't know. The Lightning Collection Mighty Morphin Ninja Black and Blue Rangers look cool, mostly from a ninja standpoint. Ninjas are cool. For something that I have no attachment to when I look at it, except for the roundness on the thing, I think, oh, I could use those as ninjas anywhere. And even there, I could put some kind of symbol, like a foot or a hand or something right there. Don't even try to explain to me why there's a frog. I kind of get the wolf, but a frog, Oh, maybe he leaps. Maybe he can jump really high. Like I said, I don't know Power Rangers. Reuse is the name of the game when it comes to Hasbro. They're very cost effective and it's appropriate. I mean, they're both in ninja costume, but they did add alternate heads that are different from each other. There's extra hands, there's effect pieces. Why are these called monsters though? I saw that in the title both on Hasbro Pulse and on Target, where these are exclusive. But speaking of that, it is odd that the MSRP in the press materials they sent me says $26.49. On Hasbro Pulse, they're $26.99. And then on Target.com, they're $24.99. I think all these price hikes and changes are just happening so fast that even internally, they can't keep track of it. Pre-orders are pre-sold out, but keep an eye on Target.com. They should pop up again. Should. Who knows, it's Target. And since we're talking about a Hasbro property, and they decided to wait until 30 minutes ago to pop these up, let's take a quick look at the Marvel Legends Eternals wave. These are the first official images. I know we've seen these, they've been leaked, we've seen them in hand, we've seen them loose, but as far as Hasbro's concerned, they know we've seen them, but they still have to roll out the carpet for them. Especially with the new trailer this week, the movie release is on the horizon. Not the most interesting or exciting costumes when it comes to the MCU, but after seeing that last trailer, I'm a bit more excited overall. I want to see the movie. We'll see about the figures. These are kind of fuzzy pictures that Yahoo posted up, and they put it in some kind of gallery thing where it was hard to pull out the original source picture. But I have a feeling that the photo reel here, the likenesses, the overall costumes, how they fit together, will make for a nice shelf if you're into the MCU. But if you don't care about them, you can just pass on by because it's all movie Eternals. Droog, Kingo, Makari, Phastos, Cersei, and Sprite all come with Build-A-Figure parts to build Gilgamesh. And that's Marvel's Sprite, not Lemon Lime Sprite. I like to think that that's the reason they had to make that distinction. Although they could go old school Six Flags and you have to buy a can of Sprite and the other 5 figures in order to get Gilgamesh. That leaves Ajax, Icarus, and Thena as some kind of separate releases, maybe exclusives to different stores, and then a deluxe figure of Crow. That seems to knock out most of the main Eternals cast, which is great for MCU collectors. You can just buy the wave, have most of them. There may be exclusives to track down. They aren't showing Black Knight yet, which may be a later release or some kind of 2-pack something special. I don't know. But again, you can just buy this and be done with the Eternals wave. And again, if you're comic only or you don't care about this wave, there's other stuff coming. As I record this, there's no pre-order info. I just found the pictures 30 minutes ago. But that should happen soon. Mezco's Rumble Society had a busy week. Not so much in the new character department, mostly just variant realm. We had seen a tiny tease of the Red Death Doc Nocturnal a ways back on Mezco's Instagram, but now seeing it in person, oh, it's definitely red. Too much red? Nah, it's nicely broke up with the black parts here and there. Plus it's called Red Death. What were you expecting? I can't help looking at this picture and thinking Robin, though. That's how my mind works. And it's not the beak on the Plague Doctor mask. It's the proportions. It's the attitude that is just dripping off this figure. Comes with a couple of skull head options, shooty guns, explodey grenades, grapple claws, sonic disruptor, a plethora of hands. That's right, I said plethora. I'm allowed. Scully smoke effect, sword, harness, and more guns to add to the cornucopia of weapons. Also said cornucopia. Deal with it. This went super fast though. Probably, well, I don't know if it was in stock. I didn't see the order go up. I saw it when it was waitlisted, but it's set to ship here in the next month or so. But that's not all. There's also this abomination to everything. Holy and action figure. The Mosquatch Black Mold Edition with Phantom Knight expansion pack comes with another head and some blades for Doc Nock's armory, but the big ugly Mosquatch bastard is the main draw here. We've seen it in green, which makes sense. It's Mosquatch, but the Black Mold Edition, now that I'm talking about it, that also makes sense because much like Black Mold, if you have this in your house, you should immediately get rid of it. Bring somebody in to take it out for you, something. This should not be allowed in people's homes. In this day and age, who thinks flocking is a good idea? You insane people who can actually touch this stuff. To me, it's nails on a chalkboard. In fact, I'd rather nails on a chalkboard than touch this. And Mezco even brags about flocking the package. Nope, no way. Not happening. Sorry. But I understand not everyone feels that way. Probably not a lot of people feel that way. But if you're interested in this, you can go get on the wait list for $60, and then Doc Knock is $90. We all knew NECA was killing it with the Universal Monsters, and we had seen teases of this, but now that we have the full solicitation for the Mummy, this thing looks amazing. The sculpt, the desaturated colors, everything just works so well here. You get up close and you can see a gradation from like a gray to a yellow to a red, but it's very faint, and once you get away from it, it just feels so natural. In fact, when I first looked at it, I thought it was black and white until I started seeing the close-ups and everything. It's a great translation from film to plastic. I've got to do it, even though I'm not a huge Universal Monsters fan. I'm a huge fan of great-looking toys, and this, it's fantastic. It also comes with a chest and a scroll, which actually brings the most color to the whole presentation. Unfortunately, the sarcophagus and all the set pieces are not included, but whoever did that, you knocked it out of the park, bud. I mean, that's half the selling point here, even though we don't get it. $35 scheduled for December. But let's move from there to, well, let's stay within the horror realm, but something slightly adjacent. That would be Super 7's The Worst. Ooh, it's been a while. Ultimates! I was vaguely aware of this line because of their reaction figures, but I don't do reaction, so I hadn't deep dove into the names or the actual looks. It was kind of a, oh, those look cool. But you make it larger, more detailed, more articulation, and I'm a dog chasing cars. It's, what you got? First, Captain Deathstar, the cybernetic skeleton pirate. All those words I just said together, they don't belong together, but it looks awesome together. I mean, if you tried to describe this to me with no pictures at all, I'd probably think it would be an amazing idea, because it's essentially taking all these elements that are cool in our universe, putting it in a blender, and just making a fantastic looking action figure smoothie. It's just a great balance of wacky and serious, historic, futuristic, close to home, but way out there. It's crazy. All of that could also be said of Batula, or Batula, as I like to imagine him saying it, even though Batula is right. That's the way Super 7 themselves said it on their video. But the guy just looks like an asshole. The kind of person that would correct somebody for saying their name correct. They would say it back to them incorrectly just to make them feel awkward. Batula, what's going on? I am not a spatula. My name is Batula. But I have to look at this and assume he has a blood problem. I mean, drinking blood in the first place is a problem, but take a closer look at all this. He hides his flask full of blood in his unholy book. If this was a natural, normal thing, he wouldn't be trying to keep it from everybody. My unholy book, I'm going to over here. Flipping anyone off that dares mention intervention. He ends up in alleys with his face all just drenched in arterial spray, probably hiding bloodshot eyes with those big octogenarian sunglasses. Or he's just a vampire and he drinks blood. Ow. Karma. $55 a piece, like all Ultimates, set for fall 2022. Super 7 also teased this, and here's where I'm going to lose a bunch of you, because I had no clue what this was, and I didn't know until I saw comments of, oh, that's the Simpsons, and even then, I have no clue what this is. That's right, I'm that guy that when it first aired way back, I watched the first season or two, never watched it again.
Well, look how the cookie crumbles. Boo! Boo this man! He dares not like what we like. He strays away on his own path and doesn't even do any research to find out things like popular, the Simpsons. Who doesn't know about the Simpsons? Okay, I'll see myself out.
Always got to get the last word. But that was it. That was the tease. And I was kind of hoping they wouldn't reveal the figures before today, because so I could kind of learn the names and what's going on with them. But nope. Right before I came in here, they solicited the whole wave one. There's Deep Space Homer, there's Mo, There is Robot Itchy, Robot Scratchy, and then Poochie. Okay, I know Mo. I know Homer, just not in this look. And there's kind of two schools of thought here. A lot of people just want the basic looks for the main cast. So putting Homer in the spacesuit may be out of their wheelhouse, or going that far with Robot Itchy and Scratchy and Poochie, it could have been, more of the family. But the other school of thought is, there was that old line by somebody else that I never collected, so I don't know. They got a lot of looks there. So going off the beaten path may be the way to go. And it also shows that Super 7 is willing to stay in it for the long haul. Or at least this is their way of trying to prove that. They put basic Mo in the first wave, a bunch of other crazy characters. Will there be another just basic generic look for another character next wave? Maybe a couple of them? Will they break it up? Will they see how this one sells? I don't know. This is just their opening salvo. Again, Ultimates. Oh, well, I forgot to do that. Ultimates! But Ultimates are $55 a piece. These say summer 2022. So they were solicited after the worst, but seem to be coming before. Again. This week, McFarlane Toys continues their streak of DC Multiverse releases. Most of these we have seen before, like initial pictures or reveals. Now we have full pre-orders, but there are a couple of nuggets. The final piece for the Target exclusive Batman Futures End Build-A-Figure was revealed last week with Blight. This week, we get solicitation, more pretty pictures. Again, like we talked about last week, this is not the ideal version of Blight for some people, but just look at it. It is squarely in Todd's ballpark. The purple and the neon greens look more prominent, look more spiffy when there's not a background to distract you from those. And in the package, how busy does that look with the tentacles of Batman Futures End, whatever that is, with the robot flippy Joker Batman head thing. Superboy Prime was revealed last month, and it kind of skewed more into the classic comic look, but there is Toddifications. Is this kind of pulling from death metal with some flourishes here and there? No fist though, and it's been a while since we've seen the Bandai side-eye. It's a dynamic look when it's an alternate head, but when it's the only look you get, it's a bit limiting. Lobo was shown at the same time as Superboy Prime, but at least for me, he's more memorable because he appeals to a larger audience. Not character-wise, scale-wise. If you're a McFarlane diehard, this will fit right in with your collection, but if you're more of a 1/12 scale collector, Lobo being larger doesn't matter. So getting a fantastic sculpt, ample articulation, it should fit in with what you have already. And seeing more pictures, the Buffy vampire brow isn't as prominent as it was in that first picture. At least it doesn't stand out at me as much. Haha, remember the condiment android? Would you like some honey mustard? Perhaps some barbecue. The gold label Superman Energized Unchained Armor is, well, it's basically that same figure we got in Wave 1 last year, just thrown through the Schumacher Batman filter. But that's okay because it's exclusive, it's not needed. If you don't care for it, what do we always say? Just pass on by. You don't have to worry about it. This is for people who like this sort of thing, whether they embrace the craziness and the wackiness of this repaint, or they dig the thrill of the hunt. The exact same thing can be said about the gold label Azrael Batman armor. Where there is a Superman, there must be more Batmans. A lot more Batmans. This is again complete reuse of the figure that came out more recently than the Superman body, but I gotta say, I'm a sucker for that raw metal look on armored figures. It's just more knight-like. It gives it an old school feel, I guess. Reminds me of the Iron Man Mark II. In fact, don't tell anybody this, kind of crossing the streams, but I'd like to see this figure in Iron Man Hot Rod Red and Gold. Just for the pure hell of it. Blight is $25 because of the Build-A-Figure piece. All the rest are $20 and due out in November, except the Batman and Superman armors, they're due out in October. You know, when McFarlane Toys introduced their 5-inch My Hero Academia figures, I thought that was the end of 7-inch. That just seems to be the pattern, although I can only use Walking Dead as a reference point because they went a lot of figures in 5-inch and then boom, went to the larger scale, dead. There may be other examples, but I didn't actually start paying attention to McFarlane until Super Articulation came knocking on Todd's door. What do you think of me? Anyway, new, larger scale My Hero Academia. Well, okay. First up, there's the 2-pack of All Might and All for One, which is just reuse. But it is a good way to get these figures into new collectors' hands, although isn't All For One still on the pegs right now, and All Might isn't too hard to get, but getting them out there again. But us old-timers, though, who have been with the line since the first, we need the warm glow of new characters on the shelf, and Endeavor fits that bill perfectly. Fire isn't the easiest element to translate into plastic, and it looks like they had two choices here, and they went with the orange translucent plastic seen on the figure. But if you look at the package, it's more of an opaque, brighter orange. Honestly, I can't say which one I prefer. I like the realism the translucency brings. You can kind of see through it, but that also loses a lot of detail. I was also worried about the ankles at first because we all know how clear plastic reacts with a lot of movement, but it looks like they have the core, just regular plastic, going down through the shin down to the foot. The prototype, or well, the figure pictured on the package, the flames there are brighter and more cartoony, but I guess that's okay because it's based on an animated series, but they're more prominent, they stand out. Then there is also Togeda in full Lemillion gear. I absolutely love this, but I have to be honest, why did I never realize that his chest emblem is actually the number 1 million? I watched the series, I love the series, and I really want this figure, but I guess I gotta see something in action figure form before I nitpick all the little details. But like Endeavor, there's a few differences between the figure in the package and the figure pictured on the package. Well, not so much the front. Flip it around and you can see that he has a visorless, more determined head. Can that be a variant of some kind? Preferably a easy to get variant, along with Endeavor with the other flames. Hey, easy body reuse, different head, different colors of the flames. Or maybe there was a technical issue with the flames on the package or something. Either way, I'm looking forward to these. That's all I'm trying to say. I just got notification that Storm Collectibles has solicited a new Golden Axe item. It may look like the Dead Frame 2-pack uses those skeleton bodies they've done to death at this point, but looking closer, I am pretty sure that this is a complete new sculpt. The limbs are thicker, the rib cage is shaped different, the vertebrae have more substance to them, and that's not even pointing out the obvious changes like the feet, the skull, and the addition of the tail. They could have gotten away with just recycling that first body, throw on a new noggin, throw on some tootsies, different weapons, called it a day, and it would have looked fine. But they went the extra mile, and that's a cool thing to see. $65 due out Q4 of this year. Now, it's been years and years since I've seen Golden Axe. Can they reuse this over and over and over in different colors now, like they did the skeleton? Because I'm sure at this point, they've made their money back on those skeleton molds. Hey guys, do you get all your Fortnite news from Preternia.com on Twitter? So do I. He's all over it. This week he came up with promo shots for the upcoming Jazwares Legendary Series brawler Brutus. Just a good looking suit body, but with cartoony proportions. It's Fortnite. That's the way the game looks. Those legs they go too thin, but I can use this as a enforcer on the shelf or somewhere else or wherever. There's also the Brawler Series Cyclo. This design is a little bit more realistic overall, so I can use this as a bounty hunter. I'd always go to bounty hunters in the Star Wars universe, but if you don't want to use them there, he could just be a bar patron or something. A Hellboy background character, or Krang's hired gun to send after the turtles. Anywhere. I think both Brutus and Cyclo were listed whenever Jazwares made the announcement that they were losing the license, but Seeker comes out of nowhere. Well, I say that, again, Preternia.com had loose pictures a while back. Seeing it in package, that means it's one step closer to these grubby little hands. You coming home to daddy soon. Flip it around, the back shows Vendetta, who we also saw loose at the same time, so maybe that'll pop up soon too. Now, placing bets on where this is going to show up first. We got Amazon, Target, Walmart, Bed Bath & Beyond. Could be anywhere. And then let's finish up the episode with another look at the Notch Toiletbots. If you remember back to last week, which is getting harder and harder the older I get, we saw a picture of the Toiletbots just casually sitting on a couch. This week, we don't get the solicitation yet, but we do get a couple of more pictures with crazy Deadpool antics, and this makes me want them even more. I know it was said at a show that they are 1/12 scale, but to see them actually interacting with a figure I own, showing how they move and how they scale to that figure. Damn it. My money is ready, Toy Notch. I just need the pre-orders. And that's it for this week, I think. I don't know what's happened in the past hour. But if I did miss something, we'll swing back around next week on Monday Fwoosh Live, or the next weekly, of course. If you're interested in seeing any of these pictures up close without me all I'll be posting all of that along with links to pre-orders and more information on the Fwoosh front page Saturday at noon. But if you can't wait that long, most of the links are in the description. And with new Marvel Legends revealed, you knew there would be a fan first live stream right around the corner. This week they announced that there will be a Marvel Legends fan first Thursday next week. We'll probably be talking about the Eternals maybe, but I figure it's going to be mostly about Galactus. Also next week, even though it's not officially announced yet, in their last live stream, the Transformers team said that they would be talking more about their HasLab on the 27th. That is next Friday. Marvel Thursday, Transformers Friday. But you know something that we haven't talked about in a week or two, or 3, or 4? Star Wars Black Series. Where the hell is my Star Wars, Hasbro? I'm seeing dates pushed back for the RS Sing Wave. Y'all announced, or at least teased, a HasLab. I repeat, where the hell is my Star Wars, Hasbro? Are they waiting till PulseCon, which today was announced to be October 22nd and 23rd? That's way too long to wait. There's Boba Fett stuff coming, there's Mandalorian stuff coming, there's other Star Wars. We should be working on Mandalorian Season 2 figures right now. You missed that deadline. Let's come back around, make up for that. There's plenty of stuff to make. I don't understand what the hell the holdup is, because I'm not getting Bandai either. Medicom? Come on! If you enjoyed this weekly, comment, like, subscribe. Much love to the plus. If you're interested in seeing videos early or in a position to help out the channel, patreon.com. But wherever you may be watching this, I'll always catch you on the Fwoosh. I know this is too late to announce now, but, well, I guess Patreon. Hey guys, if you're seeing this, I'll be over on the Unparalleled Universe live stream tonight, Friday. I know it's not the last Friday of the month, but Wade's got more important things to do, apparently, on the last Friday of the month. So he pushed me to the second to the last Friday of the month. But if you're watching this on YouTube on Saturday or Sunday or Monday, you can go watch the replay over on his channel.